Welcome, everyone. I'm Jason Barrico. I am excited to be able to bring this opportunity to the people of Africa. We are excited. We've got many new leaders coming in on Africa and many leaders here in the United States developing the marketplace. We are very excited about this call in particularly. We have a very special guest speaker, Dr. Jeffrey Hubbard. He's a medical doctor here in the Dallas, Texas area. I'm going to go through a quick beginning part of the presentation, and then I'm going to introduce Dr. Hubbard, and he will cover most of the call for us. So as we're getting started, you got time to text your friends, your contacts, your team members, get them on this call. It's a real honor to hear from our medical doctor. One moment, please. Let me get my screen share. And start my slideshow, and we'll get started with the presentation. Welcome, everybody. And today we're talking about stem cells and stem cell activation. And welcome to the stem cell revolution. This is what's happening. Everybody wants to look and feel and live younger. The older that we get, the younger we want to be living. It's amazing how the body ages, the mind doesn't. Stem cells are the key to making this happen. Stem cells play a vital part of our immune system that repair, regenerate damaged cells. Almost every major magazine, news station has covered a story on stem cells. It is a massive growth that's happening right now. Now, what's the problem? Stem cells, the older that we get, the less stem cells we have. By the time we're 35, we've lost 50% of our stem cells. By the time we're 60, we've lost 90%. The less stem cells we have, the faster that we age and the slower that we heal. So let's talk about stem cell injections. They're expensive, they're painful, they're risky, they're controversial, and there's no guaranteed results. And this is exactly how I got into the picture of promoting this technology. Is I researched stem cell injections particularly, for over a year prior to being introduced to this. I invested $9,000. I wasn't happy with the results. I was still having discomfort in my right hip. I still wasn't able to go on long walks. I couldn't do any cardio. I was, still limping around, which is nothing makes you feel older than limping around. And then my friend called me on the technology, and he said, "Listen, there's new technology, stem cell technology." I was open, I was receptive, and I tried the product. Within 3 days of using the technology, I got some great results. My hip feels so much better. I'm doing cardio, going on 2-mile walks every day with my wife and my dogs, and so it's fantastic. We are talking about a historic breakthrough in stem cell activity. That is, we're talking about a new wearable technology in a patch form. Now, for the new people on, if you haven't seen it, it comes in a sleeve. We call them a sleeve. And here, I'll hold it up to the camera. This is what they look like. They're about the size of a quarter, and they are paper thin. And I'm going to mute out. Please, if you are on the call, and please don't unmute yourself. That would be helpful. Princess Anne, particularly, thank you very much. In the patch form, they are affordable, they're safe, they're non-invasive, there's no drugs, no ingredients. It's non-transdermal, meaning there's no ingredients transferring into the body. It's a patented form of phototherapy, which Dr. Jeff is going to be speaking on. It uses a specific frequency of light to increase and improve stem cell activity. Before we go into the product information, let's talk about David Schmidt, the man behind the creation, the inventor of the technology. He is a brilliant scientist and researcher, has 100 patents to his name. It's kind of hard to keep track. Just amazing. The X39 was just issued a worldwide patent in the US. Has the leading researcher for 20 years. He's conducted over 80 clinical studies proving the effectiveness of LifeWave's phototherapy. Many more in the works. The company is a 15-year-old technology company that is started in 2004 out of San Diego, California. It's based on energy enhancing technology developed for the Navy SEALs to increase strength, stamina, and performance. This is so effective, it's used by world-class athletes around the world. And there's a 45,000 square foot research and laboratory and manufacturing facility based in Ireland. They have a corporate headquarters in San Diego, California, and they have distribution to 120 countries with 13 distribution centers around the world. So let's talk about how this amazing technology works. Instead of going through the PowerPoint presentation, I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to introduce Dr. Jeff Hubbard. He is a medical doctor. He is just an amazing gentleman on his research, his knowledge of what he has with this technology, what he has seen with this technology. It's just an honor to have him on the call. So Dr. Jeff, and he's located right here in Dallas, Texas with me. But Dr. Jeff, I'm going to turn the call over to you and have you explain the technology and why you believe this is the most powerful stem cell technology on the marketplace today. Dr. Jeff, the call is yours, my friend.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, and it's great to see everyone. My job today is to help you understand the opportunity that you have in your possession right now. And I think in order to effectively do that, we need to kind of go through a little bit of the stem cell history and where we are kind of in the progression towards this holy grail that all of the researchers and medical doctors and various different individuals in healthcare are seeking, which is to be able to take stem cells and recreate all sorts of organs, tissues, and to make the way that we live and the way that our healthcare system works be kind of foundationally attached to stem cell production. And currently, most of all the stem cell stuff that's going on is research based, which happens in a clinical laboratory. So let's kind of, we can go very far back, but we'll start at about 1998. And that is when the first embryonic stem cell was isolated in human tissue, okay? And that simply means that laboratories were now able to examine on a cellular level with microscopy exactly how these cells were working and exactly how they were doing what they were doing. All right, 2001 was a landmark year for stem cell research. If you recall, George Bush II passed legislation that stated that federal funding could now be allocated towards stem cell research. And so that was a huge step in the right direction, specifically here in the United States, about understanding how stem cells work. And that created a research boom. And all around the world, people really started to investigate exactly how these types of stem cells could be harnessed, could be studied, and what different industries they could be used and what sort of application would be appropriate for them. So pharmaceutical industries, biomedical research, as well as healthcare, all started to examine exactly what stem cells are doing and are capable of doing. So from there, another really big deal was the following year. So in 2001, we had 9/11. And so that was a huge deal. A lot of people were concerned about anthrax and the various different concerns associated with that. And so there was a lot of research associated with creating an artificial immune system using stem cells. So we could direct these particular stem cells into a differentiation of different types of immune cells. And so basically in the laboratory, scientists were able to create what we call an in vitro immune system and how it responded to certain illnesses, certain viruses, certain concerning agents like anthrax. So we learned so much about the immune system and how stem cells work. That opened up a whole new chapter about the research as well, because now we could create environments inside the laboratory that were very similar to the actual environment we have inside our bodies. And we could learn a lot without having a human subject to test. So stem cells have so many different applications in the research world. Okay. So I think it's important to differentiate a couple of different types of stem cells at this moment. So we talked about embryonic stem cells. These are the types of stem cells that are connected between a mother and child. So in the placenta and the umbilical cord, there's tons of these stem cells, and these can be harvested and cryogenically frozen. And so, as Jason mentioned, uh, injections are the most common way, as we know it, for these cells to be utilized. And so you have to harvest them first, either from the umbilical cord or from the placenta, as we mentioned. Also, our bone marrow has quite a bit of these stem cells also, and you can harvest them through a bone marrow procedure. But as we mentioned, this can be painful, it can be time consuming, it's most definitely expensive. And also, it's not always guaranteed to work. And so that's a really important point that I want you to note, is that currently, all of the stem cell treatment available to us through the traditional healthcare system is basically not guaranteed to work. And that's why it's not currently insurable. And you have to pay large sums of cash in order to get this procedure done. So I want to differentiate between those embryonic stem cells and what we call pluripotent stem cells. Pluripotent is actually a stem cell produced by our body, and it is in its most primitive state, which simply means that whatever cell groups that it's in close proximity to, it can convert itself into those cells. So for example, if this pluripotent stem cell is circulating through your bloodstream and it ends at your kidney, it can become a kidney cell or a liver cell or a heart cell or a bone or muscle cell. And so this is the most exciting component of stem cell research and stem cell therapy, is that basically you can recreate tissue that was damaged or tissue that isn't functioning properly, or just basically improve the overall function of your existing tissue by replacing it with new cells. So that's a really powerful tidbit of information that you should take with you as you're sharing this information with other individuals who may not fully understand the gravity of stem cells. It's great to have a little bit of knowledge and a little bit of science background so that you can hit some key points and really get someone motivated and excited about the opportunity that they have in front of them. Right. So let's continue going down memory lane. So in 2004, the California Institute for Regenerative Medicine actually gained the constitutional right to conduct stem cell research. They were the first major entity to do so. And they allocated $3 billion to become the global leader in stem cell research. So that was just huge, huge. And so then in 2007, just 3 years later, they got through some legal battles and some other logistical issues, and were capable of allocating funds now to the various different research labs, not only in California, but all around the country. And this furthered the development and the understanding of stem cell research. And so before we get to the highlight, I think, of research thus far in stem cell, I think it's important to share that every laboratory kind of has their own angle on this thing, and they're all looking at it from different ways. Everybody has their own particular opinion about how stem cells should be used. Some people are looking at it from the standpoint of testing drugs. So we want to see how these drugs are going to affect our bodies. So we create human tissue from stem cells in the laboratory, and we engage those cells with certain medicines, and we see how they respond. Um, Certain laboratories are looking at how to differentiate these stem cells into particular types of cells, right? So if you have a patient who has a heart condition or a kidney condition, how can we take these stem cells and turn them into kidney cells or into heart cells, and to begin to inject these so that they travel directly to the heart and begin to help with some damage that may have occurred there. Those are just a couple of the examples of some very common research strategies that are already in play right now. But to me, the biggest sort of revelation that we've had currently in the stem cell research occurred in 2007 when Dr. Thomas, who is a biologist that's a professor at the University of Wisconsin, and also Dr. Yamanaka, who's a Japanese researcher in Tokyo, both of them were able to create a laboratory study where they were able to re-engineer human skin cells into stem cells. That's unheard of at that time, to take a fully mature adult cell and to re-engineer that into the basic unit of biology in the stem cell is a profound research project, to say the least. And this ushered in a new type of research and a new understanding of stem cells, where we call them induced pluripotent stem cells, or iPSC. Induced pluripotent stem cells simply means that you can take cells and you can induce them into something else. All right. So what has happened is, because this was occurring inside the laboratory in an in vitro component, this was the exciting part about now. Wow, we can take stem cells and we can target our medicine to a specific person. So if we have somebody that's on dialysis and needs a kidney transplant, can we create a kidney in the laboratory? Can we take a bunch of pluripotent stem cells and usher them into kidney cells or usher them into liver cells? So this created another sort of boom in research in trying to understand how we can utilize what we call induced pluripotent stem cells. So I feel that it's necessary to discuss the science and the history associated with stem cells to give some perspective to where we currently are and where he should have a doctorate, Mr. Schmidt has created this technological advancement. And so for those of you who are finding out about this for the first time, there's something really powerful about monetizing research. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of research studies that are pertinent and make a lot of sense, and they are jewels in stem cell research, but yet they're not ready to go to market. They're not actually monetizable. All right. And so what I love about LifeWave and the LifeWave wearable technology, specifically the X39, is that Mr. Schmidt has created a window of opportunity where you are capable of using this induced pluripotent stem cell research and the science of photobiomodulation. And he's combined those two things so that the X39 is capable of reflecting certain frequencies of light back into the skin to create that same experiment in our bodies every day. So again, that 2007 study showed that certain frequencies of light are capable of converting regular human skin cells, like we all have, into pluripotent stem cells. So now this is happening as you wear the patch on a daily basis. So as Jason mentioned, as we age, our stem cells begin to decline. The functionality and the amount that we produce begins to decline. So when you're about 60, 65 years old, you're only producing about 10% of your normal amount of stem cells. So the revolution is that wearing this patch is going to dramatically increase your stem cell activity in your body. And the beautiful part about it is that it's non-invasive, it is reasonably priced, and your body gets to dictate exactly how it repairs itself. And that's what's really eye-opening to me as a practitioner, is most times we're isolating a problem, we're looking at symptomology and determining what sort of pathological problem someone has. And we're formulating drugs or therapies or surgeries to begin to address those issues. Wearing LifeWave technology allows your body to determine what it needs to do to be in a better, healthier state from a preventative standpoint or from a health concern. So for someone like myself, who's a little bit younger, I don't have any particular health issues, but I notice that I sleep much better. I'm extremely energetic. I'm focused. My mental clarity is at its peak. I am just clicking on all cylinders. I feel like a kid again. And so that's dramatically different than, say, for instance, my uncle, who I introduced the technology to, who had some heart issues and some blood pressure issues and, some issues with his pancreatic function and a lot of other things that I was concerned about. As he's begun to consistently wear the technology, a lot of those things have, and he's gone back to many of his clinicians and had some adjustments to his medicines and some adjustments to his diagnoses. And so I'm just looking at the full breadth of capability for what's going on with this technology. And I'll say this, if we're on a track for this sort of bio renaissance, which is stem cell, and the end game is to have regenerative medicine be the standard for how we practice healthcare in the world. And everybody's going to be utilizing stem cells in order to improve the functionality of someone's body. Guys, we are on the precipice of the most revolutionary technology out there as it stands right now. As I mentioned, invasive strategies are the only way to get stem cells and to have stem cell therapy currently. Okay. So that means that if your knee is deteriorating and your cartilage is gone and you have bone on bone, or, if you damage your rotator cuff and you have issues with your shoulder, or maybe you were involved in a car accident or a fall, or, some other traumatic injury has occurred to your back and now you have pain and discomfort and issues with range of motion, you're going to have to get a stem cell injection. Nowhere else can you wear a device on your body that raises your stem cell level. It just doesn't exist. And the beauty of it is that LifeWave and Mr. Schmidt has been issued a patent that now protects the company's intellectual property for the next 20 years. Ladies and gentlemen, that is an unbelievable runway for you to take off and fly. And that's what really gets me excited. Not only am I thrilled with the opportunity to have a tool of this magnitude in my tool bag to offer patients and family and friends and individuals in my network to offer to their personal health, but I'm also thinking about the business of it all and how, essentially we have the keys to the Cadillac to be able to introduce this in all of our communities and around the world. And that is just a really awesome opportunity. And I'll share some of the revelations that I've had. There is no such technology like this available, especially to the consumer. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to see a clinician. You don't need to go through any particular hospital or clinic to get this technology. This is available to you with a few clicks of a button on the website, or just as close as your nearest distributor. You can get these patches in your hands. And they just flat out work, guys. I don't want to belabor the point, but the company is legitimate. There's tons of research and clinical trials associated with each of the patches. There's 11, but we focus on the show pony, which is the X39, because it has really taken over as the most influential patch that the company produces. And you're going to see some really dramatic results. What I want to ensure that I say is that some people see immediate results. Within the first few minutes, they're like, wow, these pains have gone away. This issue goes away. Some people, it takes a few days. Some people, it takes a few weeks. Some people, it takes a few months. But I guarantee you that the science is sound and your body is actually healing and changing on the inside, regardless of whether you feel it or not. And I think it's just flat out amazing that Lifewave is offering a 90-day money-back guarantee for this product. And for distributors, it is a 30-day money-back guarantee. That information alone should get you motivated to know that these products work. And so I'm just excited to be one of the only medical doctors that I know with this technology in their possession. And I look forward to spreading the message as far as I can. I'm so excited to see this many people participating in the call this afternoon. And I'll be around to entertain any other questions that you might have or anything that you think you want to get more clarity on. But I think it's valuable to know where we are in the historical relevance of stem cell and where we're going and what a huge stepping stone this is. This is not going anywhere, guys. And again, I'm just truly thrilled to have been introduced. Elizabeth and Jason and Phil and our team is really sound. So if there's anything that we can do to help you along the way, please don't hesitate to give us a buzz. Back to you, Jason.
Well, Dr. Jeff, thank you very much. I love your insights. I love your understanding of this technology and the results that you're seeing. And team, really, it all comes down to results. I mean, if for the brand new people on the call, when this is what the patch looks like. It's about the size of a U.S. quarter, very thin, no ingredients, transdermal. But it's the results that are creating the sales. And before we finish the rest of the presentation, we'd love to go and hear some product testimonies, some results that are happening in the field. If you do have a product testimony you'd like to share, we don't make any medical claims with our testimonies. Just raise your hand on the computer screen and I will see you and call on you. Then you can unmute yourself. That would be fantastic. I know Cooney's got her husband there and he had a great testimony. So Cooney, I'll have you get started and then I'll toss it over to Chris. But Cooney, I'm going to go to you, our manager, our very first manager in Nigeria. So Cooney, are you there? If you want to unmute yourself, that would be great.
Hi, Jason, I'm here. Are you hearing me? My internet.
I hear you loud and loud and clear, and you look great.
Thank you. Yeah, my internet is not very strong today. I've been having some challenges, but we're trying to fix it. The X39 patch is an amazing product, and it's doing great on our health. I, for one, am energized. I don't go out without my X39. And my beloved husband is going to give his testimony. And so I'm going to turn it over to him. I just want to encourage each and every one of us on this call. I want to thank Dr. Jeff for a wonderful medical explanation on the X39. I'm super excited. I'm pumped up to do more, having heard from a medical doctor. So I just want to appreciate Dr. Jeff for this time out. I know your time is really tight and precious to us. We've done a lot of adverts, a lot of people, some are trying to log in, some are trying to, the internet situation in Nigeria is not that powerful like it is in the US, but we're going to get there. So we would have had more people on this call, I tell you. I did lots of thousands of invitations out there, but I'm getting some calls, they can't connect, the Zoom app is not working, or some reason the internet is not strong where they are, they can't link up. So that's one challenge we have with the internet Zoom calls like this. So I'm going to turn it over to my husband. Hello, honey, I hope you're there. You can turn on your video and your speaker and share your beautiful testimony with the wonderful people today. Thank you.
Okay, just have him unmute himself, and that will do it. And for the team that
okay. We're not together here. He's upstairs.
Oh, you're not together.
So probably he's upstairs. Probably he's having a problem with the internet because that's
okay.
It's not usual. We have one problem. We have to switch over to another provider. So it's not very strong. So I don't know. I'll call him up. Maybe when someone else.
When you're ready, when he's ready, have him jump on. I know Phil's got a testimony. Let's go, Chris. Let's go to you real quick. Cooney, just give me a wave when you're ready, and we'll start. But Chris, over there in Ghana, hopefully you've got a good sound connection, and there's no rain. I guess the rain really messes up the internet.
Yes.
Hello.
Is that Fred?
Hello.
This is Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Nigeria. Hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yeah, we can't see you very well, but we can hear you. Are you going to give your testimony, Fred?
Yeah. As Kune said, we have very poor internet connection here in Nigeria. But I have a question. I want to quickly ask this question before we turn it over to Kune's husband. You see, I've been marketing, and the regular question that comes up is,
Fred, let me interrupt. Are you giving a testimony, or do you have a question?
No, I have a question.
Okay, we're going to do questions and answers. We're going to do questions and answers towards the end.
Oh, okay. Wow. I would have loved you to take this quickly.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, when it's time for the question and answers, I'll get my questions across.
Okay, we'll do questions after the call. Okay, buddy? Thank you.
Okay.
Chris, back to you, my friend.
All right.
Hello,
thank you, sir.
That's fine. Good evening, everybody. And on the side of testimonies, yes, let me tell you about this old lady who ordered a diamond package. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. This old lady who ordered a diamond package last week got her parcel delivered today. And what happened was this lady had spent a lot of money trying to get good health for the last 20 years. She's always willing to give testimony by her. But the internet connection, just as Kuni said, it's a similar situation here in Ghana. We met today after opening her parcel. The comment she made was she didn't want anybody even to touch the box. She just put the whole box into her armpit and she's gone off to talk to medical doctors. She just left like that. And this lady had a heart condition, inflamed heart. She had hypertension. She had diabetes. She had arthritis. She couldn't walk for 100 meters continuous. After some 90 meters, she had to stop and take some rest. But today, as I speak, since she started using the first pack, the first sleeve that she bought, she can now walk more than 500 meters non-stop. She is 65 years, Agnes. One day, I think sometimes she's been joining us on the Zoom call, but the network has been giving her a lot of challenges. But just to say on her behalf that this old lady is now an ambassador for X39. It's so amazing. She can't even stop giving testimonies everywhere, even on the streets. She just started calling people, calling a lot of friends and a lot of doctors she knows. Because of their condition, she has gone to so many different hospitals. She had different drugs on her, 2 different hypertensive drugs that she always carried anywhere anytime she went out. So that in case the pressure came up above a certain level that she started feeling some uneasiness, she would quickly take the drug. So she had 2 different drugs for hypertension alone. Anytime she went out, she always had to carry the drug. But now for 2 weeks, she does not carry any drug along with her anytime she went out. So it's a very big testimony over here. And just as Dr. Jeff said, it's a very big advantage for us. Those of us who are pioneers, we should take it serious across Africa. And this is a way we can achieve some level of income so that we can also help other people to also become millionaires, just as Jason did in the past by growing 40 millionaires. Now you can grow more than 100 millionaires because of X39. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. Team, it is important during the testimonial section that we don't mention any disease claims. If it's, that's very important. The company does not make any disease claims. The company doesn't make any claims at all. This technology helps the body heal itself. All the healing is coming from the body. We don't treat, cure, or prevent any disease. And that's very important to know. Phil, I'm going to turn it over to you. And if you had your hand up, so the call is yours, my friend. And then we'll go back into the rest of the presentation. And then Fred will get to your question and we'll have open question and answers with Dr. Jeff. Phil, your call is yours, my friend.
Hey, I've got a pretty cool, kind of funny testimony. On Father's Day on Sunday, I went forward in church to be prayed for and get a gift and everything. And while I was standing there and got prayed for, I came back to my seat and my wife goes, "Hey, I want to let you know." I said, "What?" She goes, "You're thinning on top. It's getting thicker." I said, "Yeah, right. Really?" And yesterday we were outside and she was standing behind me and she goes, "See, you can see all these little hairs. And look, I have hair. I have long hair, but on top it's pretty thin." So she took my camera, my phone, and took a picture. And she goes, "See all the new growth?" I'm like, holy mackerel. Wow, it is. So the thinning that was on top is getting thicker. And I think that's pretty darn cool because I've never seen that before.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. All right, perfect. Well, thank you very much for sharing. Cooney, did we get your husband to be able to share his testimony? Did we track him down?
Yeah, my husband is ready.
Okay, you have him go on.
He's ready.
He's ready.
Right
Okay,
here.
then you be the last one. Go ahead.
Well, it's nice. Hello.
There you are.
Yes, it's nice to be here, and I'm so delighted to have to be one of those that will share my testimony. Like I will create the normal background, I'm always a skeptical person. So when I had this excruciating pain on my ribs as a result of perennial constant, what do you call it now? Sneezing. Now, as a result of sneezing, I got my rib cage stuck. So I wasn't able to exercise my ribs for a long time, and I was complaining so frequently to my wife. And she said, "Why don't you try the X39? And I tried the X39 for the first day. I wasn't too sure. For the second day, I wasn't too sure. By the third day, I totally forgot that I had such a rib complication. It had cleared, and my wife was like, "What about that pain that you were complaining about?" I said, "Oh, I used to have a pain." I started looking for the pain. The pain was no more. And that was my first first-hand experience of the X39. And that was how I became, in fact, a self-appointed ambassador of X39. And from then on, I'm going around telling people about X39, and I believe that so many will join after now and be a part of the miracle of X39. Yeah, that's my testimony, very brief. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, I'm going to go back into the presentation. Thank you all for sharing. I'm going to mute you back out to stop that background noise. Let me share my screen real quick, and then we'll do some quick tests. I'll just kind of quickly go through this just for the brand new people. Where is my slideshow? And we want to start from current screen. We were just talking about minor pain and discomfort and the people that benefited from that. We talked about the energy. Cooney was talking about the energy. Sports performance is another testimony that has been coming in. Here are some of the many athletes that we have. We've got dozens of athletes on our corporate website, from NBA players, NFL players, all around the world. Sleep. A lot of people have noticed improvements from sleep. And actually, this was showing up in our clinical study. Wrinkle reduction, the ladies love this one. Collagen, when you Google copper peptide, as it raises the copper peptide, it promotes collagen and elasticity in the skin. Here are a few before and after pictures. This lady's 6 months. This lady's 4.5 months. You can see the jawline. This lady is kind of famous in our organization, Mandy from Australia. But look at after 42 days, and then after 1 year, she looks 10 years younger. That is just from the copper peptide rising in the body. Here's a couple more. This lady, I think she's 4 months. What's that, September to January? You can see greatly improved appearance. And this lady had her neck was just absolutely, she just came in from Europe. I'm not quite sure of the time frame on that because I can't read that language. Hair growth, as Phil was just talking about, a lot of testimonies coming in from hair growth, more and more testimonies. Actually, the grays are going away, the natural color is coming back. Here are some testimonies that were also sent in. Scar reduction is a common one. People that have pre-existing scars, they're reduced. Wound healing is a big deal. This is clinically proven. Just remarkable how fast, if you have an injury, how fast this technology will help you to heal. Here's this guy had surgery after 20 days. This is a car accident. You can see jacked up his hand, his wrist, his hand, and you can see the little patch there. 63 days of using it. Look at it, almost can't even see the scar. This is a young boy. Got his finger caught in a door. The doctor said it wouldn't survive or wouldn't live. And you can see how black it's getting. You can see it now after 2 months. And here he is right here. He's a cute little guy. I just wanted to put that on there, kind of think what a big deal that is for him. This got sent in from Japan. And there are a lot of testimonies. There's just some that I put up on my PowerPoint. But you can go to our Stem Cells for Health Facebook page, private page, and they're all up there, more and more. I don't want to forget our pets. Love the pets. This lady sent it in from Japan. This was a cat, had a throat issue, couldn't eat. After 10 days, a little patch on it. This is a horse that had a watery eye just after 24 hours. Just remarkable. Again, I mentioned the disclaimer earlier. The global expansion of the marketplace from a business standpoint. Billions of dollars, as Dr. Jeff said, billions of dollars are being spent on stem cells and research. what is the global sales of LifeWave? Okay, this is pre-stem cell market, 20 million in 2018, okay? They launched this technology in 2019, $70 million first year. Estimated sales of this year with the pandemic, with the lockdowns, with all the craziness that the world has gone through, $220 million. That is a 1,000% increase in 24 months. This company is on track to be $1 billion company. As Dr. Jeff said, we have the most advanced stem cell technology in the world in our hands that we can bring to market. This is a big deal for the marketers. The last line is probably the most important line, is lives will be changed. This company pays 50% of its revenue to commission, so that when this company does 200 million, guess what? 100 million is being paid to us, the brand ambassadors, people like you. Chris was saying he wants to create some millionaires in Nigeria and throughout the world. It is happening now. The incomes have gone up 1,000% since 2018. And just, we're talking Nigeria, and we're talking Africa, the continent of Africa, but just Japan alone did $5 million in the month of May. So you've got it. This is a global opportunity in business for people. So you've got to be thinking big. We have a powerful compensation plan. We prefer our retail customers. It pays $20 to $50. We have a product introduction bonus that ranges from $15 to $500, depending on what rank you are in the pack. Again, this is just a quick summary. Please get with the person who invited you on this call to learn more and the details of the compensation plan. We have a binary team bonus that you can earn up to $25,000 per week. This is a binary where you build a right team and a left team. You just build two teams and you can build them down to infinity. We have a platinum and diamond differential bonus, paid for $100 to $300. We have matching bonuses that have unlimited income potential. This is cool. Like Chris is my personally enrolled person. I make 25% of Chris's binary income for life. Now, Chris sponsored Cooney, so I make 20% and Chris makes 25% of Cooney's binary income. And whoever Cooney sponsors, I make 25% because it goes down for 3 levels. This is a huge component of our compensation plan and will pay out a tremendous amount of money over time. We have an incentive trips that are coming up. We have one that we're in mix right now. I'm not quite sure the status with the lockdown and all of that, but we do always have incentives that are coming on. Finally, 3 ways of getting started. As you mentioned, you can become a customer. You can become a preferred customer. You'll save $50 a month on the subscription, so it's only $99. There is a monthly subscription, but there's no long-term commitments. I mean, you could cancel it the next day. I don't recommend that, but there is no long-term commitments whatsoever. As Dr. Jeff said, the company offers a 90-day money-back guarantee on this technology. Okay, let's talk about brand ambassadors quickly. Brand ambassadors, there you can come in as a bronze, you can come up to a platinum level. If you are just looking to say, hey, I want to test the product, I want to test it out, I'm ready to test it out, I've tried a sample or I've heard enough, I recommend the silver. Come in at the silver. If you're looking at either a business, if you want to make a business decision, I would come in at a gold, or I'd come in where the serious builders come in. And for the fast growth is our diamond pack, is $1,500 or $1,600. You get 19 sleeves of product because you get $400 of free product. You maximize the fast start income of $500. You earn $100 differential, maximize the differential bonus. You are qualified for 3 months. And really, you just have to sell 4 and your product is free. You've recouped over your entire investment with that. And this is for the serious business builder who wants to come in and really make it happen. Again, any decision that you make, we just want you to be part of our team and become a brand ambassador with us. And really, in Africa, we are talking about being pioneers, because you are really the pioneers in opening that market, which is so exciting. But we would love to have you part of our team. And any of these options have a 30-day money back guarantee. Okay, that's our presentation. We're going to go into questions and answers. Again, if you are not part of our private Facebook group, I will put it in the chat. This is our Stem Cells for Health. Please, this is a great way to learn about our technology, hear some products, testimonies, and help to raise your belief level. So let me put that into the chat. And what I would like to do now, if there are any questions for Dr. Jeff, now we have to be careful with a medical doctor and got questions for Dr. Jeff, that we don't ask any or make any medical claims or medical statements. Okay, so that's probably the most important. So if there is anybody that has a question for our superstar MD, Dr. Jeff, please raise your hand and you can unmute yourself. That would be great. We're running right about an hour. And Dr. Jeff, I greatly value your time, and we are recording this, and this is live on Facebook. So let us know. The questions and answers is now open. The presentation is over. So if for the guests, if they want to